Hi, this is Carol Mixon-Krendl, and I'm bringing you today something near and dear to my heart. This is a webinar for my daughter because many of you know, she has been working at a storage property since she was 16. And the storage property she was at was super high tech. It won the Facility of the Year award last year, I believe. And so the interesting thing about that, it was all high tech and she hardly had any work to do. And customers could open and close their doors, and she could overlock actually from her phone. Everything was done through technology. So she just didn't have that much interaction, and it wasn't that big of a store. So now, now she's at a store in the Phoenix area, and it's a very busy store. So she's had a little bit of a rude awakening with a lot of balls up in the air at one time. She's just kind of been to think about how the process goes. She's had to actually learn how to do a contract, present a contract, as opposed to have the customer just digitally sign everything. So it's been a really interesting thing for her. So she calls me up this last week. So she said, "Mom, I think you need to do a webinar." And she was very adamant about this. So this webinar today is on behalf of my daughter, and these were Alex's storage rules. So let's talk about what her storage rules are. Let's begin with why this webinar is even necessary. And the interesting thing, I think, is the fact that, some people who work in self-storage don't know how to act towards customers. Customers expect you to be helpful, and they even, if there's a problem or an error that they've made or the customer has done, and you can't be sarcastic. You have to really be nice to the customers, and if that open sign's up, you should be ready to serve the customer with a smile. Oh yeah, and you get paid to be nice to your customers, right? So someone is paying you to be good to the customers, and she thinks that you should be nice all the time. I love this thing about sarcasm because it's so true. It's like punching someone in the face, but with words. And isn't that true? And people can be sarcastic. Employees and people at storage properties can be, even customers can be sarcastic, but we don't have to be that way towards them, and we don't have to be that way ourselves. So think about this. How to act in a place of business. This was one of the things Alex said. I think you should teach people how to act in the place of business. If you know it's a business, why aren't you treating customers better? And she said, why isn't everyone greeted as soon as they walk through the door? That's true. That is absolutely true. As soon as someone walks through the door, you don't wait and just watch them meander up to you and then look at them. Greet everyone. Make eye contact. Be polite. Put down what you're working on and concentrate on the customer. So you want to be professional and polite at all times and show them the respect and concern that they deserve. The other thing is really have a positive and caring tone in your voice. It really does come across bad if you're sarcastic, if you have any weirdness happening. And I can tell you, my daughter can turn that all on with, it's pretty amazing how especially when she wants money and stuff, she is so good. And she has such a way that she approaches me. But it's interesting because, as far as it goes with your job as managers at storage properties, you want to be positive and caring all the time. And put away your cell phone. If you have your personal cell phone out on, and you're using it when a customer's looking at you and you're around, that is absolutely inappropriate. Right? I don't think we should have to tell you that. I think it's interesting now at schools, they have those little shoe holders that they make the kids put their phone in the shoe holder and when they come into the room, because otherwise they'd be on their phone all the time when the teacher's teaching if they could, or even if they hide it and slip it and if they see something. And sometimes I'll text my daughter and son when they're at school and they're like, "Mom, we were in class. You can't do that. It buzzes and everybody hears it." So I'm guilty of that too. And really think about this. Don't complain, fix it. Don't just act like you can't do anything about it. And I can tell you there are things that I couldn't fix, but I can make it better, or I have made it better in the past. So remember, and also, and this is her last one, dress appropriately and smell good. And I think that is true for a lot of storage people. You're like, by the time the day passes, you may not be smelling as clean as you did at the beginning, especially if you work at a really hot or humid place. Think about that. You want to refresh. And I've had before where managers have said, hey, could I have an extra, a couple of extra uniforms because I need to change during the day. She said, by the time we go out and clean and stuff like that, when we come back, I really need to change my uniform. Is that possible? And absolutely, those are the things you should get for your managers to help them be better at what they do and smell better too. So treat all customers right. In the past, Alex has done some in-person shopping for me, and she definitely thinks that, because she's younger or there were other issues that people weren't paying attention and they treated her differently than they did someone else. And I can tell you, when someone walks through the door, white, black, brown, purple, I don't care. Everyone gets treated well. So you want to treat everyone with kindness and don't try to make yourself great and others small. If you're at a storage property and the customer has a problem, fix it or try to fix it. Do the best you can. But everyone has a story, and be a good listener. So if you have to listen to a story about some kind of problem in the move or what the movers did to them or the movers were late or whatever it is, just be a good listener. And we don't meet people by accident. That's one of the things Alex said. She said, Mom, I think I met these people that were extremely nice to me and I helped them solve a problem and it wasn't by accident. And I thought, that's pretty amazing. And she felt the weight of what her job was and how she treated people and how she treated those particular customers. And she left feeling that day that she'd done a great service at her job and that her company does a great service for people. And she really felt like she connected with someone, and that makes her love what she does. And it's not going to happen every day. But if you can treat customers right, and I mean all, and I said all customers here, treat all customers right, not just your favorite customers, all customers. And it's not that easy. I mean, we've got a lot of problems in our country right now. And to have a young person like my daughter at 18 years old to be saying, please, why can't we treat everyone right? And it's true. It really is true. And it starts with inside with all of us. So one of the things we need to be able to do that is communicate in a friendly and clear manner. And it doesn't mean that we have to give excuses or anything like that, but try to be really positive and also read customers. If you can tell they're frustrated and unhappy, make sure you say, hey, can we get you some water? How can I help you? I can, let me make this better. But if you can communicate those things and use those communication skills, but also give good customer service skills, it's really going to help you and to be able to be a great manager. And I hope my daughter's on her way to be a great manager. I think she is, actually. I know she is. Yeah, she's a chip off the old block, right? I'm hoping. Yeah. Think about this. I love the fact that my daughter has a good work ethic. And I can say that it's interesting when you have kids, I have one kid that's one way and one's another, but I want all storage people. And if everyone that I've hired, my kids, my daughter, and other people, I really want them to be good workers and work hard. And there's always something to do. I don't think there's ever a time when you can sit there at a storage property and say, wow, we've done everything. There's nothing to do. I've never been at a store that's been true. You can always call delinquents. You can always clean. You can always go check the outside. You can go give customers water. There would be so many things that you could do. You could just do a security round. So there's absolutely never a time where there's just nothing to do. And I have made lists before, and I do have a webinar that's like 100 things to do when you don't have anything else to do. I don't know if I actually did 100, but it's things to do when there's nothing else to do. But there is always something to do. And again, that's overlocking, checking things, and calling customers, following up with customers that have called and that were interested in storage. So think about those things to have a really good work ethic. And treat everyone the same. Now I'll tell you, this is not always easy. And I know, and you know, that we run the gamut of the type of people that come into the storage property. We have bums that push carts and that turn in cans to get money for rent. And then we have maybe a person that rolls up in a Rolls Royce. So it is interesting, the fact of the type of diversity at the storage properties. And I will say there's some storage properties that maybe don't have the high end or maybe don't have the really low either, but we do have a real gamut and all kinds of things. But you've got to treat people the same and always the same with respect and that positive attitude, because it's going to make a huge difference. And I just thought macaroons just made it more delicious sounding. I don't know. But when you think about doing all of these things, remember, it feels good to be nice. And I love it. I love this dog just hanging out. Have you, I mean, I've had Dobermans and some Yorkies now too, but every one of my dogs has always loved to put their face out the window. And there's something about feeling good and being nice and thinking positive. And I love think positive, feel positive, and positive things will happen. That is absolutely true. The more positive you are during the day and the more positive you are with your customers, you get that back in spades. I promise you. I can remember times when people are like, hey, where's Carol? And they wanted to see me at the store. Even though I may be the manager or supervisor or owner, they're looking for me because I interact with them, I talk with them, we develop a friendship or a relationship, and they enjoy that. So it's got to feel good to be nice, and it makes you feel better every day when you go home. The other thing is you really can't change someone's personality. Now, I have to tell you, and a lot of you know, I've been married a couple of times. So I am here to say you cannot change someone's personality, and you can't change someone who doesn't see an issue with their actions. And there are some times where, I will say I've had some employees that did the wrong thing and weren't happy or didn't like customers or treated customers with disrespect. And I had to let them go. And I didn't really want to because I liked the person personally, but somehow they couldn't get over certain things with certain people. So I would say you can't change someone's personality. So you want to try to make sure that you're being nice and kind to everyone. If an employee is a problem, tell them to hit the road, Jack. That's what I would say. Because and one of the other things my dad used to say, well, you got to get rid of the bad apples. If you've got someone that's not good or you've got one bad apple, it'll ruin the whole bunch. And that is absolutely true. If you have an employee at the store that is rude and disrespectful to customers, they don't belong there. They don't belong in the mix because the customers don't deserve it. And I don't care if it's hard to find people or you have to do more work until you get someone else to find them, because gee, right now it seems like it'd be a great time to find people looking for a job. It seems like it. Well, unless they're getting a whole lot of money from the government for nothing. But I would say you can't leave someone at the store when you know you can't change their personality. Okay, so hire friendly. You got to start there. So, and you got to feel good about yourself. I love the fact that Alex said to me, she goes, Mom, people just don't feel good about themselves and about that they have a job and that they enjoy the job and try to enjoy what they're doing every day. And I love her smile here. This is one of her graduation photos. And I just think she has the attitude of, if I'm going to be at work, I'm going to try to be happy. I'm going to enjoy the time. It goes much faster if you're in a good mood and things are going well. So much better to do that, right? So I want to thank you so much for listening today. And thank you, Alexandra, for the great tips that you gave me. And I'm a proud mom. And that not just because you're in storage, it has nothing to do with the fact you're in storage. I actually like you to be a singer, and maybe I'll put one of your songs on a webinar so everyone can see how great of a singer you are. But I find it interesting that young people can have such a beautiful look at, even though it was angry when she was telling me, but a look at a situation and so clearly can come through it and say, why can't people be nice to each other? Why can't we be kind and happy and friendly and enjoy where we work? And that's the truth. We are in a great industry. The self-storage industry is awesome. So if you need to get a hold of me, I'm Carol Mixon-Krendl from SkillCheck, and we've got our 1-800 number here. And gosh, I didn't put it on here. It's carol@skillcheck.com. Or if you would like to leave my daughter a message, it's ak@skillcheck.com, and she'll be interested to hear what you had to say about her insights into self-storage. Thank you for listening, and good luck and good renting.